Alright guys, so number 18, it says Ian deposited 500 into a savings account that compounds interest yearly. After his initial deposit, Ian did not withdraw or deposit any money from his account. The table below shows the amount of savings over a period of years. Okay? It says using an exponential curve. Okay, so that's important for me because it tells me what to plug, which regression to choose in my calculator. Curve that using a exponential curve of best fit, which equation best represents the model. Okay, so I'm gonna have to build a regression in my calculator. So the same steps as I had before. So we're gonna go to, if you, and remember, you have to remember these steps, okay, for the test and for the SOL. So we're gonna go to stat. We're gonna go to edit. And if you have numbers here, you can just make sure to clear those numbers before we plug in any new numbers. If you want, you can hit the reset button. But if you do, make sure to change it from real to A plus BI. Okay, so you have 0, 1, oops, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you come over to list 2, and then plug in the rest of the numbers. You have 500. I guess I should put in those decimals. $500, 513, 175. Alright, so once you're plugging your data, just kind of look over the numbers, make sure everything looks good. Alright, it looks good. So go back to stat. You're going to go to calc, and you're going to pick an exponential regression, which is down here. Okay, and then here you're going to store it in y1. So here we're going to go to vars, y vars, and it's a function, and then just choose that, and you're going to calculate. Alright, so it gives you puts the exponent. This still, remember, the caret button means it's the exponent. It has an exponent of x, so the number b has an exponent of x. Anyway, we're just gonna look for this number. So it's at 500, 500, 1.275, 1.275. This is the closest. Okay. Alright, problem number 9. It says, what is the range of the function here? Alright, so whenever we have a domain and range questions, we just want to graph it and look at it to determine the domain and range. So you have 4 has an exponent of x plus 3 minus 1. We're going to graph it. And again, when we're looking at the range, we're looking at the y-axis, the y coordinates, right? So it looks like your range, let me draw a vertical asymptote. Oops, where am I going? It's at second draw. Sorry, not a vertical, a horizontal asymptote, and then I'm gonna place it where the graph is starting. Looks like the graph is starting at y at -1. So y is greater than -1, meaning all of my y coordinates are gonna be above -1. Okay. What number is a 0 of a function? So 0 means you can either plug them in and it gives me 0, or it gives me an x-intercept at one of these numbers. But the easiest way to find the 0 of a function is to just, we're going to plug these in for x and see if my function gives me a 0. Okay, so we're going to go, okay, so we're going to go plug 1 in for x, store that for x, and then plug in your function. So you have log of 4x plus 3. We're gonna go and hit enter. Let's see if we get a 0. No, it should be exactly 0. So now plug this in. 3 over 4. We're gonna store that in for x. Do that. That didn't work. That means it's an error. It has some. If I plug this number in, it gives me an error, so that doesn't work. Let me plug 0 in to see what I get. So it has to be -1/2. Let's see. Yep, see, that gave me a 0. When I plug 1/2 in for x and I plug in my function, I get a 0. So this has to be a 0 on the function. We can also, look at it and see where it crosses the x-axis. Let me just do that quickly. So you have log of 4x plus 3. We're going to graph it, and it looks like it's crossing the y-axis, or the x-axis at -1/2 right there. Okay?